Welcome to the Triple Play Sports Podcast with your hosts, Christian Perino and Tristan Barnes.
Today is August 17th, 2026 on a Monday afternoon in San Diego. And me and Tristan are going to do something that we have been waiting so long, a couple months at the least, just to make our top 25 rankings for the 2026 college football season. Tristan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. College football is like a couple weeks away. I think we're under 2 weeks away. I don't know, but week 0 is lingering in the air. I think it's after August 28th. So the last Saturday in August, I'm pretty sure. So, and then from there until January of 2027, it's gonna be all college football and NFL. Well, NFL goes till February, but we made our top 25 and maybe go over some baseball. I don't know, but. Yeah, so it took us not a long time, but we used some help from various sources, so let's get on it.
Yeah, I think we have not the we have definitely some different views on things, especially some controversial picks and where we rank each team. It's going to be interesting to see the differences in our top 25, especially talking about it earlier today. It's really going to be interesting. And Tristan, why don't we just start it off? I do want to say this is going to be a mini podcast because depending on how long we go, we try to get one mini podcast done and one 20 to 30 minute podcast on either Friday or Monday. And since we had a long podcast on Friday, we're going to try to get you guys on a quick 25 rankings for college football 26 right now. Tristan, why don't you start it off?
Yeah, so we've done 25 teams each. So I'll start. Number 1. Just they're my favorite team. It's not biased. I mean, we are the best team in the country. Won the national championship 2 years ago. It's Ohio State. Still have the best roster in college football. Best defense. Julian Sayin, amazing QB. He just needs to step it up. Bo Lamar Jackson. Yeah, that's his real name. He is an amazing running back, freshman standout. He'll be with us for a long time. Jeremiah Smith, it's probably going to be his last year before he goes to the NFL, so that will be a show to see. An amazing offensive line led by guard Austin Severfield, and a defense led by Kenyatta Jackson, and an amazing secondary. So, yeah, Ohio State, they're my number 1.
Yeah, I don't think that's so out of the question for sure for a ton of people because this team is one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. But I do have to disagree with this one because I'm going Texas at my number 1 pick for this 2026 upcoming season of college football. This is a make or break season for a lot of these players on this team. If these guys want to be drafted, they're going to have to put up a show. Arch Manning wants to win a college football trophy and a Heisman. I think he might be the Heisman favorite for me right now at this moment. So that's why I have to put them at number 1 because these players are not just playing for themselves but for your team. And I feel like some players don't have that. So that's why I have to put Texas at number 1.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. They do play Ohio State in week 2 this season in Austin, so that probably will be one of Ohio State's tougher games. So yeah, number 2, I have Oregon, another amazing roster. The reason I put them up here is because Dante Moore really didn't leave. I mean, they have a bunch of other talent, but Dante Moore staying was really the the cultivator in this or whatever you call it. Yeah, but they have an amazing roster. DeCorian Moore at wide receiver, he's also amazing. Yeah, Oregon, they just produce talent every year. They can never really get it done, but maybe they will this year. I don't know. But I have them at number 2. I think they played the Buckeyes in Columbus. So, yeah, that'll be a game to see.
Dude, every game for Oregon's going to be a game to see. Just
Yeah.
because I also have them at number 2 in my college football rankings. And, yeah, you're right. Dante Moore is most likely going to be a first-round pick this year or next year for the draft in the NFL. So having him in such a dangerous, really, really good wide receiver group this year, that's what makes that team really good. that's why I have Oregon at number 2, just like you. Um, Everything you said was completely correct about them. It's been a great game to see against Ohio State, and I think that's going to be one of the most important games for Oregon on their schedule this year.
Yeah, I mean they do have a ton of other important games, but that might take the cake. Number 3 is the national champion Indiana Hoosiers. I mean they could be number 1, but I just think the talent they lost. Fernando Mendoza, so Elijah Surratt, whoever that really good wide receiver is, I keep forgetting. But yeah, they just lost so much talent to the draft. I mean, so did Ohio State, but Indiana, they have another tough schedule this year. They did reload in the portal though, getting TCU QB Josh Hoover, who is very good. You know that very well as a TCU fan. So yeah, I have them at number 3. They made the 12-team playoff both times, and it's inception. So yeah, I definitely think they're going to be another team to beat this year.
Yeah, I do think so too. But my ranking has to go with Ohio State at number 3. You're completely correct about everything you said about Ohio State as your number 1. I just think that you're right. They do have really tough schedule like they do every year. But putting Oregon on top of them and Texas on top of them, I think they have to screech out at least one of those games. And I
Yeah.
think I can't put all my chips in the middle and say they're gonna win both of those games. So I think they're actually one of those teams they're gonna lose to. And each one of them, that's gonna team that's gonna be on top of them. That's going to be the team
Yeah.
that's in front of them. So that's why I have to put them at 3. If they squeak out 2 of those wins, they deserve to be that number 1 team, like you said earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they just reload on the transfer portal every single year. I do think, those are definitely the top 3 teams in the Big Ten. I think in my rankings, no one comes close to that until, someone else in a lower spot. But they're definitely going to, at least, I think they all play each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're at least going to lose one game to each other, or in Ohio State's case, maybe it's somewhere else like Texas or team up north. So yeah, but because I definitely have number 4 is Notre Dame for me. It's your number 4 too. I think they're going to be the only undefeated team in the country. It's just their schedule is super easy. They play a ton of ACC schools. And the ACC is a good conference. It has Miami and whoever, but they kind of got the bottom of the barrel with that. I mean, their biggest games this year are against BYU and Miami, who are very good teams, but I think they'll win both those games and go undefeated. So yeah.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Notre Dame?
I honestly thought the college football organization was disrespecting them with this sort of schedule right here. This looks like you're sticking up a bunch of preschoolers against high school varsity players, honestly. That's what most of the
Okay.
games look like to them. It's pretty bad for that schedule, but I think they have to beat, BYU and Miami to keep that ranking. If they don't deserve to be even ranked at all. You saw last year they didn't make it to the college football playoffs because of Miami and that loss earlier in the season. So,
Well, they lost to Miami and Texas Tech, and being an independent team for them
yeah.
really hurt them because they couldn't get in over conference champions, because college football did have the 5-team conference champion rule, and with that whole dilemma in the ACC with both teams being super mid, they had to sneak into group of 5 conference champions to make their rule work, and Notre Dame just couldn't get in as a wild card or whatever. So
Yeah, I do think that I think Alabama should not have been in there, and I think Notre Dame should have been in. That's just my honest opinion on it. A lot of people will disagree with me on that one, but let's move on to our 5th one, where I have Ole Miss at my number 5. Trinidad Chambliss and Kyron Lacey. These guys are such big threats on the football field. You look at that quarterback with that running back, holy cow. You don't know if it's going to be an airstriker or on the ground. It's insane. It's a deadly team that I think is going to have a really good season this year.
yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to be amazing. Trinidad Chambliss, Kawan Lacey, of course, some of their studs. I mean, they did lose a lot of the draft. You have Principal Umiley, and I think I'm just pronouncing that wrong, on defense. But yeah, Ole Miss has a star-studded team, even with losing head coach Lane Kiffin, but they did replace him with Pete Golding right before the college football playoff, and he led them to the semifinal where they ended up losing to Miami, but they very well ended up kind of winning that game. So yeah, that's a very respectable number 5. My number 5 is the team that beat Ole Miss. It's Miami. I think they could make the national championship again. They do have one of the best rosters in college football. Darian Mensah, the transfer from Duke. Who else? Their running back, Mark Fletcher, he's amazing. Still a star-studded defense after losing Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. Yeah, they just have overall one of the best rosters in college football. And Malachi Tony, a.k.a. Baby Jesus. That's his nickname. I'm not kidding. Look that up. So, yeah, Miami is my number 5.
Yeah, Miami's a star-studded team for sure, and I agree with what you just said about them. Moving on to my number 6 team, it goes to Indiana. Indiana Hoosiers, the reigning champions of last season. Like you said, you stated everything you need to know. Picking up the quarterback for TCU that I watched absolutely demolish all these teams. I think if he had a little bit more help on the wide receiver, maybe even our running back Edwards, I think we could have had a better version of him. And now he's going to be tested at one of the biggest schools in the country for sure.
Yeah, I understand that very well. Number 6 for me is the Texas Longhorns. I moved them up in this list. I originally had them at 8, but I felt like that was disrespect. I mean, come on. They do have one of the best rosters in college football. Arch Manning, if he could put it together this season, they're going to be lethal. Ryan Wingo at wide receiver. They also have the Auburn transfer Cam Coleman. He might be the second best receiver, third best receiver in college football behind Malachi Tony and Jeremiah Smith. But yeah, they have an amazing offense, also an amazing defense. But yeah, so they're going to be my number 6.
Yeah, that's a pretty good number 6. I had them at number 1.
My
I
number
just
one.
think
I just think.
I have so much respect for that team, so I have to put it at number 1. But I do not disrespect having them at number 6. I like how they're at least inside your top 7 or 8.
Yeah, I couldn't go below 8. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. My number 7 team, Georgia Bulldogs. The Georgia Bulldogs, I feel like, have not been the same ever since the championship against TCU and crushing them and ruining the Cinderella story for the TCU Horned Frogs. I do think that they need to win another one soon because this is such a big franchise. They need to win one. The fans, they have a big fan base, like all these big schools. But I do think they need to step up their game just a tad bit more, and I think that's what they're going to do this season. I think they're going to make it to the playoffs, but I do not think they're going to win it. We'll get to that on a later episode of the podcast of playoff predictions coming up soon. But yeah, that's just why I have to put them at number 6. I think they're a really good team. It just depends on how far they want to go this season.
Yeah, I understand. So yeah, Georgia. For you at 7. Yeah. My number 7 is Ole Miss. I just think they're a step behind Texas with all the talent they lost in the draft this year, but they are a remarkable team. Number 8 for me is Georgia. But yeah, because of the players they've lost over the years and not being able to keep players, like they lost Carson Beck last year. I mean, the quarterback filled in right behind him. Gunnar Stockton played perfectly in his last year this year. So yeah, but they've definitely fallen off in recent years. How about we hear your number 8?
My number 8 has to go to Miami. Just like what you're saying, Carson Beck is gone. Need a new quarterback. They got one. He really has to show what he can do. This is a good coach team. Everything like what you just said. It's a talented team. What they need to do is believe in themselves. Not having their star quarterback like last year, who I don't even think was the best quarterback that they could have had last year. He got drafted. Now he's on the Arizona Cardinals. Going to see him play. These guys want to get drafted too. So that's why they have to step up their game. They have to play well, have to be well coached. If they can do all that, they deserve to be in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Number 9 for me is A&M. The Aggies were in the college football playoff last year. They had an amazing roster. They kept quarterback Marcel Reed, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Yeah, I just think their offense was overpowered. They did lose to Miami in the first round at home. It was kind of an upset game, but Miami, is one of my best teams in the country. So yeah, give me Texas A&M at 9. What's yours?
My number 9 has to go to, if not the best recruited team of the offseason, USC Trojans. This team knows how to recruit, and this is why they're talented every year. Young talent and guys that are seniors going to get drafted. This is a deadly team. This is a young team. This is a team that can most likely, I think, could maybe even win the championship in the next 3 years. So that's why I have to put them at number 9 for my USC Trojans.
Yeah, UNC, I feel like I could have ranked them higher, but just, all these teams that made the CFP last year, I think I gotta give them some respect. Number 10 is Oklahoma. They lost in a heartbreaker in the first round. I believe they, sold a 17-0 point lead, to Alabama. But yeah, Oklahoma, I think they're just a step above Alabama because of the quarterback situation. At Alabama, we don't know who's going to start. Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. Texas A&M has Marcel Reed. Or no, I'm at Oklahoma. They have John Mateer. Sorry, I'm just getting confused in my list a little bit. John Mateer, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. From Washington State, came in last year. He was dealing with some injuries, but he still left in the playoffs. So yeah, that's why they're my number 10.
I have the exact same team at my number 10, and the reason is just like what you said. I think they are a step above Alabama for sure. And even though it's selling that lead, I feel like they are still a deadly team, and that is a better team than what people think this year. So that's why I've ranked them at number 10, just like you.
Yeah. Number 11 is Alabama, like I mentioned. Still one of the best rosters in the country. Austin Mack is projected to be the starting quarterback, is what I've heard. Ryan Coleman Williams at receiver. He's definitely fallen off from his sensational freshman year. But if he can make a step up, I think they'll be right back in the playoff picture.
Yeah. My number 11 is Texas Tech. Losing Sorsby really hurt. Uh, Not a good guy for the sport. For sure, you guys go back on the podcast, you can definitely see what we thought about him a couple episodes down before this one. I just think that this team I could have rated higher if they had Sorsby. Sorsby was not a bad quarterback by all means, but just a bad person that did stupid things. And that's why I can't rate Texas Tech higher. But at the same time, I can't rate them lower than maybe 12. I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, that's exactly my case. I have them at 12. Brendan Sorsby, he was at Indiana. He caught illegally gambling, betting on his Indiana team to lose. I mean, this is an old story. So he tried, going for the NFL supplemental draft, got, denied. So he's going to try to go in the draft next year. I mean, he's still got talent. He's an amazing football player. He did amazing at Cincinnati last year. But when you can do that stuff, that's just not good for the sport, and it hurts your reputation as a football player. So let's hear your number 12.
My number 12 goes to BYU. Come on. Now, this team is special. I feel like this is the best Big 10 or one of the best Big 12 teams right now, for sure. I think they are just talented overall. Since they're a Big 12 team, I got to rate them number 12, honestly. Uh, they're really young. They're really good. These college athletes know what they're doing. They're well coached. So just giving them a good 12 right now.
Yeah, I respect that. Number 13 for me is USC. They did have. I put them down. Disclaimer: I put them down because they did miss the playoffs, and their head coach is kind of on the hot seat. But with having the best recruiting class in the country, most returning starters, I feel like I should have put them higher. I just couldn't for some reason. But yeah, 13 USC. That's mine.
My number 13 is Michigan. I know you really hate this one right now, but I think Michigan is a different team. They are so much better than they were last year. I think they actually have some talent to beat some big brand teams, maybe even Ohio State. I know you're going to disagree with that one. I also don't think they're going to beat them, but I think they have the talent. If they are really going to put it together, they can really do it. They're a good team. I just don't think they're better than some of these other teams. ESPN has them at number 16 right now. They did go 9-4 last year, and their week 1 is against Western Michigan that I think they're going to easily breeze by. They really have to put up a winning record this year, or I think they're in a deep hole for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't put them anywhere near my top 25. But number 14 for me is LSU. Again, one of the best transfer classes in the country. They got Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt, a ton of good receivers, a ton of good depth. Head coach Lane Kiffin, like I said earlier, he came from Ole Miss to LSU to try to rebuild that roster. So yeah, and I think they will be rebuilt. I'm not sure they're gonna make the playoffs, but we don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't put them anywhere near my top 25 just because this team, I don't feel like they're as developed as these other big teams, in my opinion. There's a lot of reasons I didn't put them in my top 25. I know people are like, no way you just did that. And they're not my 2020 or my top 25 because of these reasons that you just said. They're going to come back. I think it's going to come back and hurt them. New quarterback, new coach. I just don't think Lane Kiffin's way of his offense is going to match the Arizona quarterback they just got. So I can't put them in my top 25. And that's just in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of have that where I can't put who TUN at the top 25. So yeah, that's definitely a trade off between the both of us. But my 15 is BYU. I honestly think they're a little bit better than Texas Tech with all the scandals, with all the controversy there. I just had to give them that heads up in the ranking. But if it had to come down to a conference championship between the two, I think BYU would win it and advance to the CFP. So I like their team. Bear Bachmeyer, he's an amazing quarterback. Their head coach Sione, wait, my bad, I forgot what his name was, but yeah, he's a very good head coach. Penn State tried recruiting him, but he said no. So yeah, give me BYU at 15.
My number 15 is the Washington Huskies. Uh, their quarterback, Damon Williams, was tied for 19th last season with 25 touchdown passes. He ranked 32nd in passing yards with 3,065. And I do know they had a 9-4 record, same as Michigan last year. But I think if they played Michigan in the head to head, they would beat them just a little bit. I think they have more talent right now, but I think they have the harder schedule. So that's why I have to put them out at number 15.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Washington, I've been there. Very beautiful campus, very beautiful city. Seattle is a very beautiful college town where they are right on a lake. So yeah, that's why Washington is my 16. I just think they're a little bit behind BYU though. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
your number 16, Christian.
My number 16 has to go to Penn State. Even though Penn State had a 7-6 record last year, I think they had really good coaches, and I think they need to get used to their coaches first of all. Just because I don't think they were all on the same track last year. That's for sure. And there was so much going on last year with Penn State, but I think this year they're going to start putting the puzzle pieces together, and they're going to put a good, solid 16th ranked team this year. So Penn State number 16.
Yeah, Penn State, I did have to, put them down because of the lackluster season they had. I'll get to them soon. Number 17 is SMU. They were in the playoffs a couple years ago. They still have quarterback Kevin Jennings, I believe, and, situated in Dallas in a pretty easy ACC conference, They're only worse than Miami, who's the other best ACC team. So SMU, I think they're set up for success this year.
I have everything that you just said, the exact same. You convinced me to put this team at 17. You have faith in SMU, and I have faith that you're correct in this one. So yeah, SMU was and still is my number 17 team in the nation.
Yeah. My number 18 is Tennessee. Yeah, I kind of feel like I should put Penn State here, but Tennessee had a okay year last year, but because of Penn State. Still, they're lackluster. This is why they're sinking a little bit. But yeah, Penn State. I think even though they lost Joey Aguilar at quarterback, I still think they're set up for success this year.
I yeah, I have at my number 18 was Tennessee also. Tennessee, after going 8-5 last year, I think that wasn't a good season. I think they have a little fire in them this season. They know they gotta do better. They really have to. So that's why I put them at number 18. And Tristan, my number 19 is Utah. Utah is a college that I feel like people underestimate. 11-2 last year. They're going to get a harder schedule this year. I think they are a team that if they really want to be well known, they're going to have to win some games against big schools. That's for sure. So I think if they win those games, they deserve to be ranked in not on the top 25. So that's why I put Utah at number 19.
And they're definitely going to have to win the Holy War against BYU. Number 19 for me finally is Penn State. I talked about them before on an earlier podcast. So, yeah, that's why I think they're here. With all that, yeah.
Yeah. And at my number 20, I put Iowa. The Iowa Hawkeyes had a 9-4 season in their 2025 records. The Hawkeyes lost 4 games last year, all by 5 points or fewer to big schools. Tristan, you updated me on that fact just a little bit ago before this podcast, and that's completely correct. I think this team has improved. So I don't even know. I think they might be even better than what I ranked them at this year. And I think if they really want to put it together, they could be a top 12 team this year.
Yeah, they played Indiana, Oregon, Iowa State. I think USC and lost all those games by 5 points or less and won their bowl game. So, yeah, if all those reverses were flipped, Iowa would probably be a 1 or 2 seed in the college football playoffs. Crazy to think about it. But
That
yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah. So, my number 20, will be Utah. I just think, yeah.
Yeah. My number 21 is Missouri. I like this team. This team just plays the game correctly, in my opinion. They went 8-5 last year. I think they need to win more games, and if they can, they are a ranked team, and they should be. They should stay right where they are, if not get better. If they don't start winning even more games, I think it's time to say, you know what, Missouri, you had your fun in the top 25, but now it's over. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree. My 21 is Iowa. It's just the inconsistencies at offense for them. They are a defensive team. That's why, all their games were so close last year. It's just when you can't really have a good offense, can't really win much games. Even, no matter how good your defense is, they don't really get points. And your offense does. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. At my number 22, I have Houston. Houston, their record last year was 10-3. They play Oregon State in week 1 of the college football season, and I think they really need to win that game. I think they have to get on to a good start, and if they get to a good start, they can really put the season together and can be a good ranked opponent for number 22 in the country.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my 22, like you said, is Houston. So, yeah, one of the best teams in the Big 12. They could easily be in that championship game and make a run to the CFP. So,
Yeah. I think they have to make it to the championship of the Big 12, and they have to beat BYU if they want to be respected, first of all, and more being ranked. So that's just my thought on that.
Yeah, I agree. My 23 is Louisville. Another strong team in the ACC. I don't really have that many ACC teams on my list. So, yeah. Louisville, I mean, they're consistent every year. I mean, they're always producing, very good seasons. Haven't made the CFP yet, but yeah. I mean, they're very good every year.
I have the exact same thing. My number 23 was Louisville. Just like you said, I think they're inconsistent. I think they have to put it together, beat these ranked teams, and get business done to stay ranked. And when they can do that, then they have to show if they can be higher up, if they can make the playoffs. And I think that's a couple years down the line. But I think if they put it together, it's going to be a good start for them.
Yeah, I agree. And my 24 is Missouri. I don't know how they do it in a very tough SEC. They are very good year in, year out. I mean, they're always 8-4, 9-3, hovering around that, produce very good players. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is where our stuff starts to change. Florida is my number 24 team. The Gators, I think, have had such a good couple seasons, but they really have struggled in a couple past years. So I think they really have to put it together, and if they can, they're going to be a locked-in team for the college football right now for rankings in top 25. And losing DJ Lagway to Baylor, and I think Baylor is going to be a great team, by the way. Um, I think Florida needs to show how good their defense can be because I think their defense can just be as good as their offense is. And if they can do that, and if they can put all the guys and the money into the right bank, they pretty much got a secure spot in the top 25, in my opinion.
Yeah, and my 25, I wanted to put a group of five team in here. I saw some statistics when I was making my list, a while ago, my early top 25 list is Navy. I
Mm,
think they are one of the best Group 5 teams. Weekend American Conference, Tulane just lost their coach. Memphis, they just got Charles Huff, first year head coach for Memphis. I mean, he was pretty good at Southern Miss. So, yeah, I think they're definitely going to be one of the better teams in the American and could, make it to the CFP. We've seen the American Conference has produced some good teams. Tulane, Memphis are consistent year out and year out. UTSA is very good. So yeah, give me Navy, respect to our troops. So yeah.
yeah. I think that is a big stretch right now for me. But this might
But they
be a big stretch too. My 25 team is Michigan State. They got four hard games on their schedule. If they can squeak out two wins in those four games, I think they're going to be a ranked team. They play Notre Dame, they play Michigan, they play Washington and Oregon. If they beat Michigan and Washington, that team can be ranked in the top 25, if not higher in if they win 3 or 4 games, which could be really hard. But if they beat that Notre Dame team, I think the sky's the limit for Michigan State right now.
Yeah, I know my Navy take might seem a little crazy. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but Michigan State, you know.
Hey,
Hey, we all have our hot takes. We all have our, you know,
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
chalk takes.
Well, Tristan, this was nothing like a mini podcast, but holy cow, that was productive. Tristan, it's always great talking to you, especially college football. I can't wait to get to again soon and talk about more college football, NFL, and MLB wild card and playoffs. Tristan, have a great weekend, my man.
You too.